I wanted to share what DAI put up on his Twitter feed here. I thought it was pretty powerful. I wanted to share it with you. He says, anyone who supports this dishonest behavior by @Gary Gensler needs to be voted out. He can give the market clarity. He's intentionally not protecting investors. Hester Pierce, Heron Lee, retweet to Congress. Let them know America deserves better than this. So let's see what this video is about.
Can you explain your view of whether Ethereum is a security or not? I think you've actually suggested it isn't, but then why you believe that Ripple is a security. And I know there's an ongoing lawsuit related to Ripple, but could you speak to the Ethereum issue?
Andrew, just to have a little fun with you, refer back to my earlier question. I'm not going to speak to any one matter. And so your listeners understand it. I'm the chair of a 5-member commission that's also a civil law enforcement agency. And so we don't get involved in these types of public forums talking about any one project.
Speech that neither Bitcoin nor Ether would be considered securities and thus not under the purview of the SEC. Can you very briefly explain what your reasoning is?
Sure, Bob. These are complex facts and circumstances tests, but when we look at Bitcoin or if we look at Ether and the highly decentralized nature of the networks, we don't see a third-party promoter where applying the disclosure regime would make a lot of sense. So we're comfortable in some sort of viewing these as items that don't have to be regulated as securities.
So we don't get involved in these types of public forums talking about any one project, one possible circumstance, and give legal advice over the airways that way.
These are replacements for sovereign currencies. Replace the dollar, the yen, the euro with Bitcoin. That type of currency is not a security. Let me turn to what...
I mean, I don't even think I need to say anything, really. How contradictory is that? You know, like, how can you bullface sit there and, first of all, give a roundabout rude answer? You know, like, how rude was that? Oh, you know, you can refer back to my other answer and, you know, to let your listeners know. It's like, well, like, okay, we get it. You're the SEC chairman, but, like, where's the level of respect? Like, remember, you're representing us. You're supposed to be representing the U.S. citizens, the investors. So it's like, have a little decency and respect and answer the question. It's really not that hard. Like, what are you hiding? What are you trying to protect? It's just like, okay, so you sit here and claim, yeah, we don't give any sort of, you know, commentary, you know, on the air and in this sort of atmosphere to any one particular asset. But then you have, you know, Hinman, who was an SEC official, you know, talking about Ethereum and Bitcoin and how they're not securities, and we don't look at them like that, you know, and they don't need to be regulated as securities because of their utility. And then you have our former SEC chairman, Jay Clayton, who's literally just blatantly talk particularly about Bitcoin and its status and its involvement. And it's like, whoa, okay, like, who are you fooling? Like, we're not dumb people. Like, I don't know. I mean, I know it's kind of frustrate the heck out of you, especially all you guys out there that are following all this stuff when it comes to the SEC versus Ripple case. And especially if you're an XRP investor, like my wife and I, we've been holding and accumulating since late 2017. So it's like, to be hit with the SEC lawsuit really did put a hindrance and a roadblock in our, you know, financial plans for our family. So it's like, this is so infuriating to see someone that's supposed to be, you know, out to protect us, to protect investors. But you can't even respond to a class action lawsuit full of over 60,000, you know, investors that you're so-called there to protect. You can't even respond to them and give them any answers. But you can have all these different conversations with all these different platforms, but you can't have a conversation or answer the questions to the people that you are literally there to protect. We are all taxpayers and are giving you the life that you have at this point. The income that you make and the chair that you sit in is from taxpayers' dollars, and you're there to protect us, but you can't even answer a question. To see this video on the Squawk exclusive, it makes sense why, you know, DAI and, you know, Johnny Dean and, you know, all the other, you know, XRP YouTubers and crypto YouTubers that kind of, you know, cover this stuff and follow this. It's like, it is frustrating to see, you know, whenever it comes to these interviews, it's like there's really not much follow through or follow up when it comes to, you know, pressing, you know, the issue. if you ask our chairman Gensler here, hey, what's the status on Ethereum? Is today's Ethereum a security? And he gives you a roundabout answer. Find another way to try to drive that narrative and drive that that answer out of him. Like, why are we not pressing these government officials to get the answers we need? Like, what is going on? And this channel is all about having a conversation, having a chat about my personal experience and how I view things in the crypto space, and just talking about my experiences. Obviously, none of it's financial advice, and I'm not some law background savvy person. None of that. I just research, and I constantly stay up on the Twitter space and the people that are savvy in the law space and with their attorneys and lawyers, and I just kind of formulate my own opinion and thought process when it comes to investing in this space. And it's just frustrating. Just all in all, it's extremely frustrating to see this. It's just like it's like a slap in the face. It's like, do you think we're dumb? And it just goes back to that. I forgot who asked. I gotta find the video. Maybe I'll find the video tomorrow or something. But I forgot who asked. He was sat down and had to answer some questions, and the guy asked him, or the official asked him, do you think you're their daddy? It's like, no, for real. Like, do you think you are a daddy? Like, what makes you think that, like, yeah, you're the SEC chairman, but, like, what makes you think that you don't have to answer questions? Why can't we know what's going on certain public calendars and our former chairmen or any government official that's paid by the taxpayer dollars to support that member within council or within a specific organization? Like, why can't we know what's going on? What's the secrecy about? Why can't you answer questions? Yeah, there's an ongoing SEC and Ripple lawsuit, but it's like, if there's so much clarity and it's quite clear to you, per the words of Gary Gensler here, then why can't you answer it if it's quite clear? If the clarity is there, then why can't you answer it? That's just the sickening part about it. And I just wanted to come on here and quickly show you this clip. Man, digital asset investor, and I love how you put researcher, wild speculator. I love sometimes he'll really go down that rabbit hole, but I like the nuggets that he throws out, and with the support of all the other community members that feeds him and other YouTubers information. It really makes it honestly, it makes it easy for us and possible for all of us regular everyday people to just kind of keep up with things. But I just wanted to show you that, and I thought it was powerful. And I want to hear what you think about it. I mean, do you think it's wild that you could sit here and say we don't give any specific answer to one particular asset? It's like, well, you have in the past, so what's changed now? Why not now? Why aren't you answering the over 60,000 so-called investors that you're supposed to protect and that you're supposed to represent? Why does Johnny Deaton have to set up a class action lawsuit against the SEC? Why did Jay Clayton, while he's leaving his chairman spot, why did he drop a lawsuit against Ripple, who has been meeting with him has been meeting with the SEC weeks on end, years, and completely transparent, trying to get the clarity they need, but you can't give them the clarity. Not even that. There's other exchanges, other projects out there that trying to get the information they need, but you're giving them roundabout answers, and you're so-called telling them, hey, come in and have a conversation with us and we can figure this out. But then when they come in and have a conversation with you, they almost come out dumber. They come out with less answers. They come out with more confusion. But then if they go about on their merry way and they start developing their projects and their businesses, then you come after them. Then you slap them on the wrist. Like, it just makes no sense. But what you don't realize is, well, I'm sure you realize it, but what they don't realize it, and the way they present themselves as our SEC officials, it's like they act like they don't know. But it's like, you do realize that you're affecting the so-called people you're set out to protect. And from a personal standpoint, you're affecting the livelihood and the financial success of my family. We work way too hard in our lives to be hindered by some individuals that have some sort of agenda, picking winners and losers. What makes it right for you to decide what me and my wife put our hard money into? We pay our taxes. Good. You got your taxes, right? Your chair is funded. Now let us put the little bit of money we want into assets that have no regulations. So it's not like illegal or anything. Let us put our money into that so we can change the course of our lives, knowing that we have high conviction that this space is going to be massive for how we do things in everyday life, not just for our own family, but for the entire world. I can go on for days. I can go on for days about this because it really gets me a little fired up. But long story short, I just wanted to show you this. Let me know down down below. I wanted to know your thoughts on it. You know, see how you feel about it, how you interpret it. Yeah, just want to see your viewpoint. With all that being said, stay strong out there and be safe.